Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment standing in the middle of a storm. Winds are howling, rain is pouring, and the world around you feels chaotic. But in the center of that storm, you are completely still, unmoved, unshaken. How's that possible? Because, my friends, in that stillness, you've discovered the most powerful secret to living a peaceful life, the spiritual secret to never letting anyone affect you. We live in a world where we are constantly bombarded by the opinions, criticisms, and judgments of others. From the moment we wake up, there are voices telling us who we should be, how we should act, and what we should believe. These voices shape our thoughts, and these thoughts shape our emotions. But here's the truth: those voices do not define us. You are the creator of your own reality. Imagine you're holding a mirror in your hand. This mirror reflects everything in your life: the opinions of others, the judgments, the criticisms, the praise. Now imagine that you are no longer that mirror. Instead, you are the one holding it. You choose whether to let those reflections become part of your emotional makeup or whether to let them pass by without touching you. The spiritual secret lies in the power of awareness. Awareness is the ability to step back and observe what is happening around you without being swept up by it. It is the understanding that you are not your thoughts, and you are certainly not the opinions of others. When you practice awareness, you realize that external events, whether they be hurtful comments, disagreements, or misunderstandings, have no power unless you give them power. But how do we truly cultivate this awareness? Through mindfulness. Being fully present in each moment frees us from the burdens of past regrets and future anxieties. It allows us to respond to life's challenges with clarity rather than reacting from a place of emotional turmoil. When we practice mindfulness, we align ourselves with the peace that already resides within us. I want to remind you of one simple truth: your worth is not determined by how others see you. In fact, you can't control how anyone else sees you. People will always project their own insecurities, judgments, and assumptions onto you. But none of this can touch your true essence unless you let it. Your self-worth must come from within, not from external validation. When you are rooted in the knowledge of your own value, no criticism or praise can alter your sense of self. Let me be clear: detachment is not the same as indifference. Detachment does not mean we shut ourselves off from the world or stop caring about others. On the contrary, true detachment means protecting your peace while still extending love, empathy, and kindness to others. It's understanding that while you can't control someone else's actions or opinions, you can choose how you respond. And in that choice, you find your power. Every single interaction we have is an exchange of energy. And much like how we protect our physical well-being, we must protect our emotional energy. When we allow toxic energy to enter our lives unchecked, we weaken our spiritual fortitude. But when we consciously choose to surround ourselves with people who uplift us, who share in our peace, and who respect our boundaries, we create an environment where our inner strength can thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret to never letting anyone affect you lies in your ability to tap into the infinite peace that resides deep within your soul. It's about learning to stand firm in your truth, rooted in self-awareness, and protecting your energy from the negativity that surrounds you. When you master this, no storm can ever touch you, because you will be the stillness at its center. So, as you leave today, remember this: you are the master of your mind, the keeper of your peace, and the protector of your energy. No one can take that from you unless you allow it. Stand strong, stay centered, and never let anyone affect the calm that lives within you. True strength comes from within. It is an internal power that we often overlook, seeking validation or peace from external sources. Yet the key to never allowing anyone or anything to affect us lies in understanding that our sense of peace, happiness, and worth cannot be dictated by external forces. This is a lesson that, once learned, becomes the foundation of resilience, calm, and unwavering self-assurance. In our day-to-day lives, we are constantly exposed to the opinions, judgments, and actions of others. Whether it's a passing comment from a colleague, a critical remark from a loved one, or the collective judgments of society, these external factors can easily disrupt our emotional balance if we allow them. But here's the important truth. None of these things have the inherent power to hurt us unless we allow them to. This idea stems from the deep understanding that the external world is not a reflection of who we are. It is merely a series of events and circumstances that we encounter. Our reactions to these events, however, are what truly define how they affect us. Every moment we are faced with the opportunity to decide how we will respond to the world around us. When we react emotionally, we are giving away our power to the situation or person who triggered that reaction. By doing so, we allow their words or actions to control our state of being. But if we respond from a place of inner peace, if we come from a position of awareness and clarity, then no external force can truly disturb us. To grasp this concept fully, we need to delve deeper into the nature of inner peace. Inner peace isn't the absence of challenges or difficulties, nor is it a passive state of being. It is a proactive decision to cultivate and maintain a calm, balanced state of mind, regardless of what is happening around us. It's about finding a source of strength deep within, where we are rooted in a sense of self that remains unshaken by the fluctuations of external circumstances. The power of inner peace lies in its ability to act as a shield against negativity. Imagine that you are a tree deeply rooted in the earth. No matter how strong the winds may blow or how hard the rain may fall, your roots keep you grounded and steady. Similarly, when you are anchored in your inner peace, nothing that happens around you can uproot you or throw you off course. The storms of life, whether they come in the form of criticism, failure, or misunderstanding, cannot shake the foundation of your being. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate this inner peace is through mindfulness. When we are mindful, we are fully aware of our thoughts and emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them. This awareness allows us to observe our internal reactions without being swept away by them. For example, when someone criticizes you, your immediate reaction, instead of letting the criticism define you or upset you, you can choose to respond calmly, understanding that the other person's opinion is just that, an opinion. It does not reflect your worth or reality. Mindfulness also involves recognizing that our emotional state is not the result of external circumstances, but of how we choose to interpret those circumstances. Two people can experience the same event, say a critical comment, but one person may internalize it and feel hurt, while the other remains unaffected because they understand that the comment says more about the person making it than it does about them. In this way, mindfulness enables us to maintain control over our emotional responses ensuring that we don't give away our peace to anyone or anything. Furthermore, developing inner peace is also about creating emotional boundaries. We must learn to distinguish between what is our responsibility and what belongs to others. The words and actions of others, no matter how harsh or critical, are their expressions, not yours. You do not need to absorb them or take them personally. In fact, when you internalize others' negativity, you give away your power. By recognizing that their energy is separate from yours, you can protect your inner peace, refusing to let their emotions dictate your own. This practice of maintaining peace within ourselves is also a powerful way to protect our mental and emotional well-being. When we consistently allow external forces to dictate our internal state, we open ourselves to a cycle of stress, frustration, and emotional exhaustion. By contrast, when we take responsibility for our own emotional state and commit to nurturing our inner peace, we cultivate a life that is not only more stable, but also more fulfilling. Ultimately, true strength lies in our ability to remain centered and grounded despite the turbulence of the world around us. No matter what is happening externally, we always have the power to choose how we respond. The key is to shift our focus inward, understanding that the peace we seek is not something that comes from the world. It is something that we create within ourselves. When we learn to tap into this inner reservoir of calm, we unlock the ability to move through life with grace, unshaken by the chaos of the world, and free from the need for external validation or approval. Awareness is one of the most powerful tools we possess in maintaining our inner peace and protecting ourselves from being negatively affected by others. It is the key to unlocking a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us, offering a pathway to freedom from external influences. By cultivating awareness, we can step back from the constant rush of thoughts, emotions, and situations that typically overwhelm us and view life with clarity and objectivity. It is this capacity to observe without becoming entangled that empowers us to maintain control over how we respond to the external world. At the core of awareness is the realization that we are not our thoughts or emotions. Often we become so closely identified with our internal experiences that we begin to think of ourselves as defined by them. For example, if we feel angry, we may believe we are angry. Or if we are upset by someone's words, we might identify ourselves as victims of those words. This identification traps us in a cycle where we allow our feelings and thoughts to control our actions and reactions. But awareness teaches us that while thoughts and emotions are temporary experiences, they do not define our identity. To illustrate this, think of yourself as the sky and your thoughts and emotions as clouds that pass by. The sky remains unchanged, regardless of how dark or stormy the clouds may appear. Similarly, our true essence, the part of us that is peaceful, grounded, and resilient, remains untouched by the fleeting nature of our thoughts and feelings. When we cultivate awareness, we begin to understand that emotions like anger, sadness, or frustration are not permanent states of being, but temporary responses to specific circumstances. By observing these emotions from a place of awareness, we can let them pass without allowing them to dictate our reactions or sense of self-worth. This awareness also empowers us to observe external situations without being emotionally swept away by them. Life is full of challenges, difficult people, and unexpected events. And while we cannot control these external factors, we can control how we react to them. Instead of automatically reacting to a situation based on past experiences, habits, or conditioned responses, we can choose to pause, observe, and assess the situation with a clear mind. When someone criticizes us, for example, instead of immediately defending ourselves or feeling hurt, awareness allows us to step back and ask, why is this person saying this? What is their perspective, and does it hold any truth for me? This conscious pause creates space for us to choose a thoughtful response rather than a knee-jerk emotional reaction. In this way, awareness also encourages detachment. Not in the sense of indifference or apathy, but in the sense of maintaining a healthy distance from external events and recognizing that we are not at the mercy of them. Detachment allows us to process life without taking things personally. When someone's actions or words feel hurtful, awareness helps us recognize that their behavior may be a reflection of their own fears, insecurities, or struggles. It is not necessarily about us. This realization can be incredibly freeing, as it means we no longer need to absorb or internalize other people's negativity. Their actions are theirs to carry, not ours to bear. Moreover, awareness can help us recognize patterns in our own behavior and reactions. By observing how we respond to various situations, we can begin to identify triggers, those specific events or behaviors that cause us to react emotionally. Once we become aware of these triggers, we gain the power to choose a different response. For instance, if we notice that we tend to react defensively when criticized, we can consciously practice pausing before reacting, allowing ourselves to respond with calm and reason rather than jumping into defense mode. Awareness allows us to break the cycle of automatic reactions and choose more peaceful, thoughtful responses. The more we practice awareness, the more we begin to see that we are not victims of our circumstances. We become the active participants in our own lives, able to respond with wisdom rather than being carried away by emotional storms. This shift in perspective transforms our relationship with the world around us. We begin to realize that we are not at the mercy of people, situations, or external forces. Instead, we are the ones who determine how much influence these factors have on us. This is incredibly empowering because it puts us in the driver's seat of our emotional life. We are no longer passive recipients of the world's chaos, but active creators of our own peace. Through awareness, we also cultivate empathy and compassion. When we observe the actions and emotions of others with a non-judgmental eye, we are better able to understand their perspective without taking it personally. Recognizing that others are simply acting out of their own fears, desires, or insecurities allows us to respond with understanding rather than anger or resentment. This not only strengthens our emotional resilience, but also fosters a deeper sense of connection and peace with those around us. Ultimately, awareness is the gateway to emotional freedom. By cultivating the ability to step back, observe, and respond thoughtfully, we can maintain our peace regardless of what happens around us. It is through awareness that we reclaim our power, recognizing that we are not at the mercy of life's ups and downs, but rather the creators of our own emotional experience. As we deepen our practice of awareness, we find that nothing in the external world has the power to affect us unless we allow it. We become anchored in our true selves, grounded in peace, and able to navigate life with grace, clarity, and strength. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment with a heightened awareness of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. It is the key to maintaining control over our emotional state, regardless of what is happening around us. By being mindful, we stop living on autopilot, reacting to life in habitual and unconscious ways. Instead, we take an active role in how we respond to the world. When we are mindful, we become aware of our internal reactions to external situations. And this awareness allows us to choose how we want to engage with the world rather than being swept away by it. Being mindful means we pay attention to the present moment without judgment or attachment. Instead of thinking about past events or worrying about the future, mindfulness centers us in the here and now. This allows us to experience life more fully and respond with clarity and wisdom rather than emotional reactivity. When we are in a mindful state, we are not weighed down by regrets or anxieties, which are often driven by the past or future. We become more in tune with our current thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations, which allows us to act with greater awareness and intention. One of the most significant benefits of mindfulness is the ability to detach from our automatic emotional reactions. We all have habitual ways of reacting to stressful situations, often based on past experiences or patterns of thinking. For instance, when someone criticizes us, we might automatically feel defensive or angry, as if we are personally being attacked. In a mindful state, however, we can observe these feelings without becoming entangled in them. Rather than immediately reacting, mindfulness allows us to pause, observe the situation, and choose how we want to respond. Instead of reacting with defensiveness or frustration, we might choose to listen calmly, consider the validity of the criticism, and respond thoughtfully. This ability to pause and respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively is a key element of mindfulness. When we are mindful, we are not ruled by our emotions or external events. We recognize that our thoughts and feelings are transient and that we do not have to identify with them. For example, if we are feeling upset, we can acknowledge that emotion without letting it dictate our action. Mindfulness helps us realize that we do not have to act on every feeling or thought that arises. This creates space between stimulus and response, allowing us to choose actions that align with our values rather than simply reacting out of habit or emotion. Mindfulness also reduces the power of negative emotions and thought patterns. Emotions like anger, jealousy, fear, or frustration can often feel overpowering, especially when triggered by others' actions or circumstances beyond our control. However, when we are mindful, we learn to observe these emotions without becoming consumed by them. Instead of spiraling into negative thought patterns or emotional outbursts, mindfulness allows us to recognize that emotions are temporary and that we do not need to get caught up in them. This sense of awareness gives us the ability to choose how long we allow an emotion to influence us. In addition to helping us manage negative emotions, mindfulness also enhances our ability to appreciate positive experiences. Often we rush through life distracted by worries, distractions, and goals, we may forget to savor the simple pleasures in life, like a warm cup of coffee, the sound of birds singing, or the beauty of nature. Mindfulness encourages us to be fully present in these moments, allowing us to experience them deeply and with gratitude. When we become more aware of the present moment, we develop a greater sense of appreciation for life, which naturally leads to greater happiness and contentment. Moreover, mindfulness improves our ability to make decisions. When we are fully present in the moment, we are more attuned to our inner wisdom and intuition. This makes it easier to make decisions that align with our values and goals, rather than reacting out of fear or emotional impulse. We can approach decisions with greater clarity and confidence, knowing that we are responding from a place of awareness rather than being driven by anxiety or outside pressure. Another powerful aspect of mindfulness is its ability to reduce stress. Stress often arises from our tendency to ruminate on past events or worry about future ones. By practicing mindfulness, we break free from this cycle of constant mental chatter. Instead of getting lost in thoughts about what could have been or what might happen, we focus on what is happening right now. This shift in focus allows us to release the tension and anxiety that come from dwelling on things beyond our control. We recognize that in the present moment we are okay, and that the stress we feel is often self-imposed, rooted in our thinking rather than reality. Mindfulness also fosters emotional resilience. When we practice mindfulness regularly, we become more equipped to handle life's challenges. Instead of reacting impulsively to difficult situations, we are able to meet them with a calm, measured response. Over time, this ability to remain grounded in the face of adversity strengthens our emotional resilience, making us better able to cope with stress, setbacks, and difficult people without being thrown off balance. Ultimately, mindfulness is a tool that allows us to live a more intentional and fulfilling life. By being present in each moment, we become more aware of ourselves, our emotions, and the world around us. This heightened awareness empowers us to make better choices, respond with greater clarity and compassion, and maintain our peace in the face of external challenges. When we practice mindfulness, we are no longer at the mercy of life's chaos. Instead, we become active participants in our own lives, able to shape our responses and experiences with greater wisdom, calm, and self-awareness. Self-worth is an internal perception, one that is cultivated from within, rather than relying on external validation or approval. In a world that often encourages us to seek affirmation from others, it can be difficult to recognize that our true value is not contingent upon how others see us, but rather on how we see ourselves. We live in a culture that measures success through external markers: status, wealth, appearance, or achievements. These societal standards often create the illusion that our worth is tied to how much we can gain, accomplish, or how others perceive us. However, the truth is that self-worth is not defined by external factors. It is an intrinsic quality that arises from understanding and accepting ourselves for who we are, irrespective of external circumstances. The external validation we often seek is fleeting. Compliments or praise from others may provide temporary boosts to our self-esteem, but they are often based on surface-level judgments and can easily fade away. If we tie our worth to how others perceive us, we are constantly at the mercy of their opinions, which can fluctuate and change over time. One moment we may feel validated and valued, and the next we may feel rejected or This instability leaves us vulnerable, constantly seeking approval, and never feeling fully grounded in our own sense of self. True self-worth, on the other hand, comes from within, and it is not dependent on anyone else's views or opinions. The foundation of self-worth lies in recognizing that we are valuable simply because we exist. We don't need to prove our worth to anyone. We already possess inherent value, regardless of what we achieve or how others treat us. This realization can be transformative because it frees us from the constant pressure of needing to meet external expectations. We start to understand that we are worthy of love, respect, and kindness simply by being human. No amount of success, money, or recognition can ever add to or take away from our intrinsic worth. Self-worth is also deeply connected to our ability to set boundaries and protect our peace. When we value ourselves, we recognize that we deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. We stop allowing others to treat us poorly or disrespect us because we understand that we are worthy of. People who lack a strong sense of self-worth often find themselves in toxic relationships, enduring mistreatment, or accepting less than they deserve because they believe they are not worthy of anything better. However, when we recognize our own value, we make choices that reflect our worth. We set boundaries to protect our emotional well-being and make decisions that prioritize our happiness and peace. We no longer tolerate mistreatment or allow others to take advantage of us because we know that we deserve more. Another key aspect of self-worth is self-compassion. Many of us are our own harshest critics, constantly striving for perfection and beating ourselves up when we fall short. We measure our worth based on our successes and failures, and when we fail, we often feel like we are not enough. However, self-worth is not contingent on perfection or constant achievement. It is about embracing our flaws, understanding that mistakes are part of growth, and treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to others. Self-compassion allows us to accept ourselves fully without judgment and to recognize that we are worthy of love and respect even when we are not perfect. Self-worth also involves a deep understanding of our strengths and qualities. It is not just about recognizing that we are worthy because we exist, but also about appreciating the unique gifts and talents we bring to the world. When we truly value ourselves, we understand that we have something valuable to offer, regardless of how society may measure success. Our worth is not determined by external accolades, but by the unique qualities we embody and the positive impact we have on others. Whether we are caregivers, artists, teachers, or friends, our worth is in the love and light we bring to the world. We don't need validation from others to know that we matter. We can simply look within and acknowledge the positive contributions we make, both to ourselves and to those around us. Moreover, self-worth is not static. It is an ongoing process of self-acceptance and growth. As we navigate life's challenges and face setbacks, our sense of self-worth may be tested, but it can also deepen and evolve. We may experience moments of doubt or insecurity, But true self-worth is not shaken by these temporary feelings. It is rooted in a deep understanding of who we are, independent of external circumstances. When we face difficulties, we can remind ourselves that our worth is not diminished by failures or mistakes. Instead, it is strengthened by our resilience, our ability to learn from challenges, and our commitment to growing into the best versions of ourselves. One of the most powerful aspects of cultivating self-worth is the freedom it provides. When we are grounded in our own sense of value, we no longer feel the need to prove ourselves to others or seek constant approval. We stop comparing ourselves to others and measuring our worth based on external achievements or appearances. We become free to pursue our passions, live authentically, and make decisions that align with our true selves. This freedom allows us to live with greater peace, confidence, and fulfillment. In the end, self-worth is not something that can be given to us by others. It is something that we must cultivate and embrace from within. It is the foundation upon which we build our lives, and it shapes how we navigate the world. When we recognize and honor our own worth, we create a life of authenticity, peace, and self-respect, where we no longer need to rely on external validation to feel whole. In conclusion, the spiritual secret to never letting anyone affect you lies within your ability to cultivate a strong sense of self, rooted in inner peace, awareness, mindfulness, and self-worth. When we learn to ground ourselves in these spiritual practices, we unlock the power to navigate life's challenges with grace, resilience, and clarity. We realize that our emotional state is not determined by the opinions or actions of others, but by how we choose to respond to them. By nurturing our inner peace and recognizing our inherent worth, we free ourselves from the control of external forces and embrace a life of authenticity, confidence, and unshakable calm. As you move forward, I encourage you to embrace these teachings in your own life. Remember, no one else can dictate your peace unless you allow them to. By cultivating awareness, practicing mindfulness, and valuing yourself from within, you can truly step into your power and create a life that is unbothered by the noise of the outside world. Thank you for your attention, your time, and your willingness to engage with these thoughts. May you always find strength in your inner peace, and may your journey be filled with love, resilience, and self-empowerment. Good luck, and thank you.